So I wanted to share a story with you that was really significant for me as a dad that happened yesterday between me and my son that really caught me off guard. Today I'm at a Boy Scouts camp. We are in the final Friday night of that Boy Scouts camp. I've never done that before, but it's been good. And we are new to the Boy Scout troop. My son and I just joined a few months ago, and it's been pretty cool. But he's still getting to know some of the guys here and all of that. And after dinner the other night, he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, Dad, see that kid over there?" He was like, "Hey, is that your dad?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's my dad." He's like, "Dude, your dad is jacked, man." And I just thought that this was really funny, and it honestly caught me off guard. I actually don't think that I'm jacked, actually on the scale, like this 14-year-old thinks that I'm jacked, but I'm not actually. But that really wasn't the point. It wasn't really about that for me as a dad. It was the look in my son's eyes when he said it. When he said these words, he was looking at me and there was this brightness and this pride in his eyes, like this sense of admiration. And I don't know what other to call it than he just was looking at me like, whoa, like I thought my dad was cool, and I think he generally thought that. But he was like, and other people think my dad is cool. And it was almost like you could see his chest puffing up. So I just want to share with you my three kind of takeaways from this experience and kind of how I'm reflecting on it. So the first one was this idea that it is really awesome as a father to feel admired by your son. I don't know who your dad was, but for most of the dads that I've talked to and worked with, a common story for us, at least for me, is that our dads usually didn't give us a long list of who we wanted to become like. Usually the list over here called who we don't want to become like or don't want to be like is a little bit longer. I entered my fatherhood journey with a pretty long list of man, I will never be like that. My dad gave me a lot of things that I was frustrated about. And I kind of had this much longer list over here of who I didn't want to be than who I did want to be as a father. And I would just wonder about the case for you. Is that the case for you? Did your dad give you that, or is your story a little bit more like mine? And I just wanted to encourage any dads out there who are working hard to become a better version of themselves, to grow and go further than their father went. I want to say keep going. Because I've been at this for a lot of years, and a lot of times the job of being an intentional father and trying to do a really good job at this whole father, husband, dad thing is a little bit thankless, and there's not a lot of feedback. And so I want to encourage you, keep going. Second takeaway for me was muscles are cool. So that's the takeaway. As somebody who has been mushy kind of my whole life, I had a little bit of muscles at some points in college, but beyond that, I have been a camera geek and a computer nerd and all of that, and had a desk job. And there was even a point that I kind of prided myself that I wasn't a dad who went to the gym. I thought of dads who went to the gym as kind of being selfish and self-focused and self-centered. And since then, I've changed my tune on that. Maybe I'll make a video about that in the future because I've learned a lot about the importance of physical fitness and exercise for the masculine and male engine, if you will. I remember coming across the idea one time that was hey, your son admires Superman or Batman. How much do you look and act like a Superman or a Batman? Does your body look like that? Do you act like that? Do you have that presence? Do you have that level of focus in your life? And I remember that really impacted me. And I can't help but look, all those guys have muscles. And so I have kind of been on this, journey or mission a little bit of hey, I do want to have a masculine form. I do want to be able to look like some of those superheroes that my son is going to look up to. And overall, same for women, for your wife, and for wives in general. My wife has many times told me over the years that, muscles, I don't really care about that. I'm not really into that. It's not a big priority for me. And since I now have been adding some in, the tune is changing ever so slightly. The results and the feedback that I'm getting is a little bit contrary to the stated things. And third takeaway is that I'm really glad that I'm embracing the values of the dad off autopilot lifestyle. I'm just looking back at like, oh yeah, how did I get there? Because again, this surprises me. Like, that's not how I think about myself. Like, I see myself and have this self-image as being somebody who would never have anyone say that about them, even a 14-year-old. But I've gotten to this point by embracing the 3 values of the dad off autopilot, which is 1, it's accepting agency. And so I came into this year, and one of the reasons that I have muscles showing is I accepted agency and I set a clear goal for exactly how I wanted to do a cut and start to remove body fat so I would have muscle definition. And I have done that now consistently week over week for 12 to 16 weeks now. The second value was rejecting people pleasing. So in order for me to show up at the gym and cook the food the way that I needed to and have my diet be the way that it needed to be, I had to reject people pleasing, from the eye rolls that my wife might be giving me as I'm grilling chicken at 9 p.m. at night, and rejecting the people pleasing from my business partner as he wants to schedule a meeting at a certain time and I have to say no because I have my gym time scheduled then. And then the third value being embracing brotherhood. So in order for me to actually start lifting throughout the last 3, 6, 9 months, I've had to embrace brotherhood with people that I know. I've asked my brother-in-law to go to the gym with me and show me some techniques. I had started up a conversation and a new relationship at the gym with a guy who is bigger and has more muscles, and it was kind of intimidating, but I took that social risk to engage with other men in real life and ask for help, ask for their input, and not be so nervous that they're gonna think I'm a wimp or that sort of a thing, to not even show up to the relationship. So embracing brotherhood has helped me kind of get to this point. So the takeaway from today's video is, if you want your son to admire you, there's a lot of things that you can do, but one of them is, if you just want a surefire bet for something, go get some muscles, go get in shape, and that is just one little shortcut for you that has stood the test of time for the last 100 years, for the last 1,000 years. Boys, teenagers, and adult men both admire and respect other men with muscles. It's kind of hard to not see. So I know this video is kind of about muscles, kind of wasn't. Hopefully it's been helpful to you, and thanks for listening to what I'm learning on this journey of being a dad off autopilot.